Welcome to Coming Home to Yourself, the podcast for high achieving women who look like put together on the outside, but feel like they're quietly crumbling inside. I'm Jagoda, a coach, a mother, a woman who's walked through public criticism, private self doubt, and the quiet ache of wondering if I was ever enough. I've been bullied. I've been dismissed for being just a mom. And for years, I questioned my voice until I began to come home to myself. This is your space to exhale, to stop performing strength and start living your truth. Each week, I'll share honest stories, gentle insights, and soul-deep shifts to help you reconnect with the woman beneath the roles, the one you've forgotten, the one you miss, the one who's always been there. If you're tired of being the strong one, the capable one, the one who never breaks, you belong here. This is the invitation to slow down, to soften, and to finally feel safe inside your own life. You were never broken. You were never too much. You don't need to fix yourself. You just need to come home to yourself. Let's begin. I could be lying in bed, completely drained, and still hear the voice in my head whisper, "You should be doing something." Not loud, not cruel, just persistent. Like an internal metronome, ticking away my worth. Tick. You haven't answered that email. Tick. You should be folding laundry. Tick. You promised to call your friend back. Tick. You're lying down again? That's the kind of guilt no one sees. You know this guilt. It's the voice that makes you keep your phone close in case of school calls. It's the way you make 3 meals and skip yours. It's the ache in your body, not from doing too little, but from doing too much. On the outside, you're doing all the things. You're showing up, smiling, functioning, managing. But on the inside, you're negotiating with exhaustion, bargaining with burnout, trying to earn the right to stop just for 1 second. For me, that guilt wasn't about one moment. It was a way of life for a while. I didn't grow up thinking rest was wrong, but I did grow up believing that being good meant being available, doing things. That the more I did, the more I mattered. And my needs, they could wait. So I became the reliable one, the strong one, the one who remembers birthdays, bakes the cake, handles the logistics, and asks how everyone else is doing. And I loved it until I didn't. Until it was too much. Somewhere along the way, I stopped asking how I was doing. Guilt has many faces, but mine looked like saying yes to another task to do, even when my body was begging me for quit. Staying up too late to clean because I felt guilty going to sleep before everything was done. Snapping at my kids, not because they were misbehaving, but because I hadn't given myself space to breathe. And I was annoyed by everything they did. And then feeling guilty for snapping. It was a loop I didn't know how to step out of for quite some time. You see, the kind of guilt I'm talking about isn't rooted in doing something wrong. It's rooted in the fear of not doing enough. And that kind of guilt doesn't show on your face. It sits in your chest. It rolls in your stomach. It whispers at night when the world is quiet and your thoughts are loud. There was a day years ago when I got up, did all the ordinary things, and took care of the children all day long. I had a fever. I hadn't slept more than 3 hours. And I remember thinking, if I just push a little longer, if I just do this one thing more, because I knew once I let myself rest, I would not get up. I won't be able. And then tomorrow came, and I pushed again and again. Until one evening, I opened the fridge and couldn't remember what I was looking for. I just stood there, empty. That moment didn't look dramatic. It didn't end in collapse. It ended in quiet. I knew I had to change things, that I can't go on like this anymore. But why do we feel guilty for being a human? It's as if I have a superwoman syndrome, you know? But I don't think it's about being a superhero. I think it's about being scared. Scared that if you don't hold everything together, it will all fall apart. Scared that if you say no, you'll disappoint someone. Scared that if you stop, you'll be replaced, forgotten, or labeled too much. But it's actually none of that. Guilt is not proof that you're doing something wrong. Often it's a proof that you've been taught to overgive. From the stories we watched and roles we weren't allowed to question. There's a parable I came across recently about a woman who carried a heavy jug of water across a field every day. One day, someone asked her, "Why don't you put the jug down and rest?" And she said, "No one told me I could." Isn't that we are all sometimes doing? Waiting for someone to say, it's okay to stop. But I want this to be clear as the brightest day. You are allowed to rest. You are allowed to not answer that message right away. You are allowed to not be the productive one every second. You are allowed to be tired. All this, the thinking, the guilt, is in our minds, is a story we tell ourselves. And thoughts are not the truth. It took me years to realize guilt was just a thought dressed in urgency. Guilt isn't your coincidence, it's your conditioning. It's not truth, not failure, just a thought. A thought I don't have to obey. A thought that is temporary. A thought that can pass like clouds in the sky. What I have learned from the experience is to start listening to my body again, to notice when tension crept in, to pause, to breathe. And I stopped justifying every need I had. I let the dishes wait. I let the messages pile up. I let myself nap. Not because everything was done, because I was done. And nothing fell apart. No one stopped loving me. The world kept spinning. If you've been carrying quiet guilt, I want to remind you, you are not selfish for needing space. You are not lazy for craving stillness. You're not broken for reaching your limit. You are human. And the bravest thing you can do is listen to what your body already knows. And if the voice in your head still whispers, you should, whisper back, I already am. I'm healing. I'm enough. I'm here. So before I close, I want to leave you with this. What would change if you stopped asking permission to feel peace? If you trusted that your needs aren't a burden, but a compass. If you gave yourself what you so freely give to others. You know, you don't have to wait for a breakdown to start choosing yourself. You can begin now with one deep breath, with one no that protects your yes, with one moment of stillness that you no longer feel guilty for claiming. You're worth it, even when you're resting, especially when you're resting. Thank you for being here, for listening, for feeling, for letting these words land wherever they needed to. If something stirred in you today, let that be enough. You don't need to figure it all out. You don't need to rush to fix or change anything. Just keep listening to yourself. And if this episode offered you something, a breath, a truth, a shift, I'd love to know. Come find me on Instagram and Facebook. The links are in captions. Or send me a message with a word that spoke to you most. I read every one. Because this isn't just a podcast. It's a return to your body, to your breath, to your heart, to your own voice. And no matter how far you've wandered, you're never too far gone to turn around and come home. Until the next time, take care of yourself.